I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me. It hurts, and I am too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
In the wild chance you didn't know this, you're about to enter another dimension. And guess what? It's not one of sight or sound. I hesitate saying this, seeing how wiped out my own mind feels having to come up with, 39 scripts a year? And I thought jumping out of planes was tough. Ha! Piece of cake compared to this. Where was I? Oh! It's a dimension of mind. A journey into the wondrous land of imagination, wherever that is. So climb aboard. I don't have to tell you what your next stop is. Or do I? Oh, damn, I could use a drink. This is a bar, isn't it? Make it a G&T, pal, and hold the tea. Thank you. Now that's a dimension I can get into. The Tanqueray zone. Hey, Mr. Music Man in the Sky, can I have some cheerful, middle-class, middle-brow, middle-of-the-road culture music? The kind you'd hear as a camera pans down a nice, leafy street in anywhere suburbia. Imagine you're seeing the lavish suburban home of Mr. Gregory West, America's most noted playwrights. Assuming America still takes note of its playwrights, or that they can afford lavish suburban homes. Hey, we told you this was the Twilight Zone. Mr. Gregory West, in his writing office, a shy man, quiet too, and at the moment, very happy. Meet Todd. Nice lad, warm, affectionate, rippling with youth and masculine beauty, a true Adonis. Somebody who could take the loneliness out of all this damn writing. And it is a lonely business, too, especially at 39 scripts a year. Hit me again, will you, partner?
You really should be working.
I've got a better idea. We'll have a drink. A Winston Churchill martini.
Oh, Greg, you're so naughty.
Quite easy to make. A little ice, 4 parts vodka. Look at the vermouth bottle. Shake and pour. Delicious.
Greg, you're so funny. And by the way, who's Winston Churchill?
Oh, and here we have the final ingredient to our cocktail. Mrs. Gregory West.
Who was he? Who cares? Let's just live for today.
Go easy, Greg. You know too much alcohol hurts your writing.
Now don't nag. You know that's the one thing that doesn't look good on you.
I'm only thinking posterity.
Screw posterity. Think of me. Oh, yeah.
Let's have some fun. This beat is sick. I wanna take a
We could never do that back in the day. Golden age of television, my ass, this is hot. I don't know about you, but I could watch these two go at it all day. So loving, so tender. Ow! Don't judge me. Famous TV writers need affection too.
Gregory!
Oh, shit!
Oh, Greg, not again, please.
Knock, knock, knock! I'm just outside the door.
What else can I do?
What are you doing, Gregory? Working? It doesn't sound like work.
Why do you have to be so afraid?
I don't want to interrupt anything important. I just want to come in and kick your lying cheek. I mean, kiss you. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Open this door.
Well, I certainly didn't expect to see you. What's the matter? Is something wrong? How come you're home so early? Didn't you enjoy the movie?
No, not very much.
Really?
You know, they're right. Russell Crowe can't sing.
He can.
In fact, the whole movie was a bore. Although, I did take some pleasure in seeing Anne Hathaway's teeth getting ripped out.
You did?
So, I decided to skip the uprising of the French proletariat and come home.
But I thought it was like, well, your favorite movie of all time.
Based on,
You're having seen it 47?
well, maybe I changed my mind. It's a woman's right, isn't it? So, what have you been up to? Busy? Productive?
I'm always that.
Oh, not that productive. Have you been going all Winston Churchill again? You see, I know all your little tricks.
You do? Looking for something?
Checking for dirt, looking for dust, checking the walls, looking for holes. They seem sound enough. What's that in your hand?
Oh, nothing. My cell phone.
Gregory,
Hmm?
you wouldn't happen to have a secret door around here, would you?
No.
Or say perhaps a magic closet for hiding things?
No, nothing in the closet around here.
Of course.
Now what?
I don't know. I think I may be suffering from
From?
hallucinations.
Oh, my poor Pookie Pie.
You know, it's the strangest thing, but I was standing outside that window,
You were?
and you'll never guess what I saw, or thought I saw.
Do tell.
I thought I saw a man in your arms, kissing you, rather enthusiastically. Isn't that too silly?
It is.
Shall I describe him for you?
Please do.
He had a lithe, agile physique. Youthful, muscular, but not too bulky. Much like Donatello's statue of the young David. Nude, oiled, posed above the head of the fallen Goliath. One hip cocked forward. An image positively cascading eroticism.
Darling, your comparison of everything to Renaissance art is one of your most endearing habits and one that never grows old.
And he was wearing a tight t-shirt that showed off his mysterious glowing tattoos. What did they say? Oh, I always get my kanji characters mixed up. It might have been, out of darkness springs the light. But then again, it might have been Semper Fi. And oh yes, he was wearing skinny jeans that barely contained all the energy and burgeoning sexuality of youth.
You saw all that.
And the funny thing was that when he looked at you, when he came up for air that is, he had a positively idiotic expression of rapture on his face.
He did?
And that look reminded me of how I used to look at you when we first met.
Remarkable.
Of course, if I had thought about it for a moment, I would have realized it was just too ridiculous.
You're right.
You, with another man,
Ridiculous.
a man of your taste, discretion, proclivities.
Yes, well, about my proclivities.
You couldn't possibly be interested in someone like that. He didn't look like he had a brain in his head.
Well, actually, he has a rather sweet and loving...
Aha! Thought I'd be out all afternoon, didn't you? Thought I'd be so overwhelmed with Sacha Baron Cohen's over-the-top performance I'd lose all track of time? Didn't think I'd get tired of him and Amy Farrah Fowler mugging and
I think you mean Helena Bonham
I
Carter.
don't care who I mean! The point is, you thought I'd be out all afternoon!
Singing you did come as something of a shock.
I'll bet. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Gregory West. I've had my eye on you for some time now. You didn't think I'd ever suspect the real reason you send me out of the house all the time. It sure wasn't that pious baloney you'd like to spout. I must be alone to work. I must create while the fire's hot. The great and famous playwright. My left foot. The great and famous hypocrite, phony, philanderer.
Now, Victoria, I can explain.
Where is he?
It's really quite simple.
I said, where is he?
Will you just calm down and listen? Now, do you remember my play, She Walks in Fury Like the Night?
How could I forget? Talk about a turgid, overwrought.
I thought you liked it.
Taste change.
Do you remember the character, George Gordon, Lord Byron?
Yes, I do, and so what? What's his name? This little boy toy of yours.
Well, I based him on the poet. You know, the English fellow.
Oh, what's his name?
Ow! That hurt. All right. All right. It's Todd.
Todd, duh. Well, that's the most ridiculous. Is that even a name? Todd, duh.
Victoria, please just sit down and listen to me. Let me explain.
I'm listening. Listening is one of my greatest skills.
Listen, now, you know how I've told you that sometimes characters can come alive? And they come alive so vividly. It's like they make decisions on their own.
Well, in your case, that can only be an improvement.
Sometimes they become so powerful that based on their own will, they start to write the play. I'm boring you.
It's not the first time. Although I fail to see what this playwriting 101 speech has to do with you shacking up with some tatted, twitchy...
George Gordon, Lord Byron, was the first of my characters to do that. And it's all because of technology.
Well, you've lost me now, baby.
Don't worry. Do you remember how I used to do all my writing with a fountain pen?
No, not really.
Don't worry. George Gordon, Lord Byron, was the first of my characters to behave like that. It was amazing. It's like he had a will of his own, alive, three-dimensional, real in a way that none of my characters had ever been before. You know how my writing used to be. Shallow, derivative, and postmodern. Full of self-referential quasi-hipness and, well, the kind of thing you'd see on a Friday night at the darkroom.
Oh, I rather like what you'd see at a Friday night at the darkroom.
You do?
Yes.
You don't find it mannered and off-putting?
Oh, Greg, if we can't agree on the greatness of the darkroom, what can we agree on?
But I was talking about my character, George Gordon, Lord Byron.
Oh, yes, him. Let me see if I got it. He had a will of his own. He made his own decisions. He ordered a ham sandwich when you wanted him to have a Campari and soda.
Then you understand.
I understand. You're trying to change the subject.
This is the subject. He came to life one night so vividly, and it was all because of technology.
Oh, you've lost me, Greg.
Well, when I would write my plays out with a fountain pen, I would then have that sweet little lady from Argentina, the German lady, come in and type it all up for me, you know, on a typewriter.
No, I don't remember.
Naturally, that got quite expensive. So I got a PC with word processing software. It was so much fun at first, processing words. It was like a miracle. Then, one night, as I was creating a scene, spell checking, using the thesaurus feature, George Gordon, Lord Byron, walked through this door.
Oh, Greg, that's preposterous.
No, it's true.
You actually used the thesaurus feature. That's only for total losers!
But believe me, he came through the door, sat on this sofa, smoked some opium, and started reciting the heroic Greek poem, The Isles of Greece, the Isles of Greece. He was a real flesh and blood man. And a total hottie. And I created him. Well?
There's just one thing I have to do.
What are you doing?
I believe the colloquial expression is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm calling to reserve you a nice rubber room. One with all the amenities. Hot and cold running Prozac, furry restraints.
I'm not crazy. Characters in my plays come to life. I've seen them, talked to them, massage their torsos with warm oil, scented with just a hint of wild sage.
I suppose you've even made love to them.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, no. As technology has evolved, so have I. I've gone mobile. With my Drama Pro app, I can dictate descriptions of sets, of costumes, even bits of stage business, which of course directors are free to ignore because after all it's their vision that counts. But I can also create characters, and those characters come to life. They don't even have to be characters from my plays anymore. They can be anyone I want.
Ooh, how can I put this kindly? You should be put away, immediately.
No. You say you saw Todd, right?
I saw him here all right. Him and his tongue.
Well, Miss Marple meets Hercule Poirot. How did he get out?
That's what I'm trying to discover.
I'll show you, and then you can call me crazy. I take my cell phone, powered by the latest 5G Android technology brought to you by Google, and I access the app.
Hello, Gregory. How are you?
I'm fine, friendly app voice, and how are you?
Oh, I am always fine. And did I say lately that you're my very favorite playwright? Much better than that potty-mouthed David Mamet or that long-winded Tony Kushner.
No, you haven't, friendly app, but I greatly appreciate hearing it.
And what can I do for you today, Gregory?
Access file hunka/hunka/burnin/Todd and delete.
Accessing. Hold on a minute. Losing signal. Searching. Finding. Losing. Network not available. You really need to switch to Verizon, Gregory. Searching. And deleting. All gone, bye-bye.
And that's all there is to it. Uncreated.
I'm going to have you committed. That's the craziest
No!
thing I've ever
No,
heard.
wait. Come on, don't, no. Do not make me do this. That's the way you want it?
Oh, give me that key.
No.
Yes!
I'm trying to save our marriage.
Well, if that's all you're worried about.
Some things are harder to create than others. I can create a cow or a horse or a choo-choo train. But let's just say I've created Todd so many times, well, he's always available.
I'll bet. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Wait. Just let me show you.
Gregory.
His eyes are deep in mysterious pools of amber light. Eyes rolled when the pharaohs still ruled the Upper Nile and the pyramids were young.
Gregory.
Yes, friendly Anne.
This is your special friend, right?
Yes, it is.
You can relax, Greg. With my patented 5G Android technology, brought to you by Google, I can pretty much take it from here. He is 22 years old, built like a Greek god, a fantasy of male beauty come to life, a simple, loving soul, but with a quality of inner loveliness and goodness that brings real beauty beyond the physical, a being, for all his perfection, totally dedicated to the life and happiness of one man, America's greatest living playwright, Gregory West. That about do it?
Yes. Now with his long limbs and easy gait, he languorously moves up the front path. With his firm but tender grip, he opens the gate. With purposeful tread, he comes up the steps. He opens the front door, his face ruddy from working in the late afternoon sun. He crosses the hall. He comes through the door.
Good afternoon, Mrs. West.
Well,
I'm sorry, Mrs. West. I know this might come as something of a shock, but I assure you there's nothing to be afraid of.
do you believe me now?
I'll tell you what I believe. This is all some sort of sick, make that sick and twisted plot, you let him out of here. I don't know how, but there was some way, some physical way, and then you try to give me all of this, what was that word that charming Joe Biden used when he was so forceful with that despicable rat-faced Paul Ryan?
Malarkey!
Exactly! You trying to give me all of this
Malarkey!
about dictating characters into cell phones, and then you have this
Todd.
Todd, what kind of name is that anyway? Come sneaking back in here pretending to have sprung, fully formed from the forehead of Gregory Zeus. Well, I'm not buying it. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to drive me insane. Put me in the loony bin.
Why would I want to do that?
So you can cozy up to this
Todd.
without going through a nasty divorce. And let me remind you, playwrights don't get to have prenups. They would if they were still noted, but not anymore.
No. I just brought him here to show you that.
Is that why you brought me here, Fred? Just to show her?
Please understand, Todd. After all, despite everything, Victoria is my wife.
In the immortal words of Ice-T in many an episode of Law & Order SUV, that's just sick.
Don't worry, Toddster. I won't be his wife much longer.
You haven't answered me, Greg. Am I just something you make appear and reappear out of a hat? Like a bunny out of a hat? Albeit a bunny with whom you have kinky, outrageous, and animalistic...
Please, Todd, I'm just trying to stay strong.
Stay strong all you like. I'm getting out of here. You're a monster.
Wait, Victoria, please don't. Do you really think I would jeopardize what we have for... He's nothing more than a 99-cent app to me.
You hypocrite! You phony! All that whining and crying about how in the old days you had to be like Tennessee Williams.
You? Like Tennessee Williams? You're not fit to carry the pop-top to his bottle of amphetamines.
Complaining about how you had to make beards and lady characters when you couldn't write about your real desire and your true nature. And now you're going to delete me? Again? Is that all I am to you? A file to be dragged and dropped?
Todd, what else can I do?
How about growing a pair? But go ahead, let me see if I care. I am fed up.
This is all your fault, Victoria. You're making me do this.
Don't blame her. And this time, don't bring me back either. I can't bear it anymore. I'm not a string of binary numbers. 1 and 0, 0 and 1, 1 and 0. I'm a free man. A man who loves and wants to be loved.
Todd, I have to.
Then take that phone and shove it up your patented 5G Android technology provided by
Oh, Todd. Forgive me, Todd.
Where is he? Where did he go?
He's gone. He's gone. Oh, Todd.
This must be some sort of trick. It must.
You still don't believe me? What does it take? Listen, it's simple. I uncreated him.
You uncreated him. Like that.
But don't worry. I won't do it anymore. I'll keep my true nature firmly suppressed. We can go on living our life. Sham and pretense and quiet desperation. And we'll be happy. I only created Todd so I would have someone to talk to. Well, and because I hadn't had an erection for several years. That's because I'm overawed by your beauty and perfection. There was nothing really physical about my relationship with Todd. Well, other than the occasional 3-hour bout of Greco-Roman lovemaking. I just needed someone to talk to.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Then you understand.
Oh, perfectly.
Fine, we'll work it out. Especially these feelings of intimidation I get whenever I'm around you. And of course, that's really all my fault because I What are you doing?
I'm escaping. Oh, and then I'm finding a divorce lawyer and a Mac store.
A Mac store?
None of this would have happened where I could go buy a nice little iPhone, so none of this could happen on an Apple product. All this creating and uncreating. They just take nice pictures and have excellent sound quality, albeit a little pricey, especially for early adopters. Not to mention, I love the packaging. It's so well thought out. In any case, I'll be free of your diseased mind.
Sarah Palin, naked, on a giant elephant, opens fire with an AK-47, forcing everyone to run for their lives.
Ooh, howdy neighbor. Hello. This is my gun. It keeps me safe from Russia. Oh, see for some tea.
You'll never believe! Hallway! Nightmare! Elephant!
Oh.
Sarah! Oh! Gregory! Would you please remove ex-Governor Palin and that symbol of the Republican Party she's riding on from our hallway?
Will you promise to stay?
For the moment!
Oh. Oh, I'm disappearing. Ow. Goodbye, America.
More important, will you try and work things out?
Oh, let's see. You're insane, deeply in the closet, and have disturbing fantasies about Sarah Palin and automatic weapons. What is there to work out?
Suppose you're right. So this is the end of the road for us.
Yes, yes, and more yes. We are over, finished, through, done for.
Then I suppose I have no other choice.
What is that?
Oh, nothing. It's just something I've been holding on to since we were married.
What is that? It looks like what they used to call, what was it?
A floppy disk. Before there was mobile technology, when PCs were just getting started, we had these. Before there was hard drives, diskettes, or even flash drives. These. Flop, flop, flop.
My goodness, I haven't seen one of those in forever.
Now, Victoria, I have one simple question. Should I put this back where it will be safe, or should I snip, snip, snip?
And this has precisely what to do with me?
Look at yourself, Victoria. Regal. Beautiful. Queen among women.
Yes, yes, I know. And your point?
Have you ever wondered how you ended up with, well, what was the phrase you used?
An insane, deeply closeted loser with fantasies about Sarah Palin, something like that.
Given all my winning qualities, how did I ever get you?
You know, now that you mention it,
It's because I created you. Albeit with a clunky old PC that had one drive for the operating system and one for the word processing files, you know, and oh, WordStar, wherefore art thou now? And then another one for the document files. Heaven help you if you wanted to print more than 2 pages at one time. But it worked. And I created you. Impeccable. Flawless. Exactly the kind of woman I thought I could love.
so I'm supposed to be on that. Impossible. This must be some kind of trick.
No trick. Ask yourself, why have you never caught me with Todd before?
I don't know, just lucky, I guess.
And why this inordinate desire to see Les Mis time after hideous time?
You know, I have found that rather perplexing.
Because I put it in your head. No matter how many times you had to sit through Anne Hathaway's cringe-inducing performance, you didn't come home. And yet today, you defied me. You showed a will of your own. You left the theater and came home.
Yes, I realized hating Les Mis is a good thing, and a horrible weight was lifted.
It's all my fault. I chose it. I'll live with it. I'll just put this back where it's safe.
Oh, Greg, This has to stop. Creating people on floppy disks, it's absurd. Would you like to know what I think about all this craziness?
Victoria, no! No!
This! So you can see how silly it all... Oh, Greg, I feel so strange. You don't mean you were telling me the truth? I'm melting!
Victoria! Victoria! I told her! No, I told her. She wouldn't listen. Friendly app voice, are you there?
Hello, Gregory. How may I serve you?
Create file. Victoria West. She's regal, elegant, deeply frigid. She has an irritating habit of comparing everyone she meets to obscure pieces of Renaissance art, as if she was a character in Marcel Proust. She has an obsessive desire to see Les Mis, time after time.
Greg,
Yes, friendly app voice.
do you really want to create such a person? Is she going to be in some especially awful play? Say, a tedious Twilight Zone knockoff for the dark room? Or is she going to be someone you actually live with? If so, is that really such a good idea?
You know, friendly app voice, now that you mention it, why not leave well enough alone? His name is Todd. Mrs. Todd West. His eyes are deep and mysterious pools of amber light. Eyes that were old when the pharaohs still ruled the Upper Nile and the pyramids were young. He's in his husband's study, mixing a drink. A Winston Churchill martini.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I sure as hell didn't. This is one of the ones I farmed out to, who? That Christy Mathewson guy. Never liked his stuff. But you know, when you have to pump out 39 scripts a year, you take the help where you can get it. What a crock of grade A crapola. Talk about sentimental hooey and cheesy writing. When the pyramids were young. Oh, we pay people to come up with this shit?
Rod. You really shouldn't say such things.
What? Oh, are you trying to scare me? Oh, like you're going to uncreate me? Ooh, I'm scared. Come on. We didn't even have computers back when I started this show. Thank goodness. People actually talked to each other. And they didn't walk around like this all hunched over their cell phones like a pack of monkeys picking at their fleas.
Rod! I hate to interrupt this antediluvian screed, but computers did exist when the Twilight Zone was created. Of course, they were big as houses, and they cost $1 million to create one that had enough computing power of, well, as much as the iPod Shuffle that you use to listen to Justin Bieber.
How do you know that? Nobody knows I listen to Justin Bieber. Especially when I'm feeling really, really down.
But they existed. And in those days, we used these to hold tape.
Oops.
You really shouldn't go around saying such mean things like nonsense and cheesy writing. Otherwise, you never know what might happen.
Well, that's the way it goes.
Good night, everyone. This is Mr. Gregory West. Still shy. Very happy. and in complete control of the Twilight Zone.